Here we are at part 6 of the Raid Shadow Legends guide. I think it's part 6. Might be part 5. I'm not sure. But it's been a while. Now, all of our accounts are going to be much different at this point. I'm level 44, about to level 45, meaning if you use my promo link, when you hit 45, you get Deacon Armstrong. That will change our account quite a bit. I'm going to go over what all I've done just real quick and the things you need to be kind of working toward. Just depending upon how fast you went through each of the guide videos, there may have been a 2x event that you summoned on. There might not have been. So again, everyone's account will be different. You might have got some legendaries, you might not have. I have not gotten anything. And depending on when you start, you may have gotten a free champ. So if you started around the same time I did, or any time in like a week or two of this video coming out, you'll have gotten Luminicity. Luminicity is going to be very important, or whichever free character you've gotten. Now, in terms of leveling up, the first thing that I want to go over is going to be the Altar of Souls. Now's your chance to become part of my team by clicking my link in the description to get the free legendary Elenaril as well as Vergis, Tagoar, and Deacon Armstrong as you level up. Here's how to do it. Log out of Plarium Play on your PC and uninstall. Then click the link in the description and register using a new email address. From there, launch raid, complete the tutorial, then go to your mailbox and claim your first champ. Lastly, use the promo code Desertqueen to get the insane Void Legendary Tuhanarak for free on top of all those other free champions. That's all you need to do to get these awesome free champs. So click my link in the description now before it expires. So with the Altar of Souls, you're going to be able to get split souls and perfect souls and whatnot. Souls for your characters. It's an additional awakening that gives them a ton of extra stats. When you first unlock this, you are going to get X amount of free summons. You can save them for some kind of raid up event, or you can just rip them and hope for the best. It's not a big deal. It's only a couple of them. But with these soul stones, I'll go over the stats and bonuses they give. But with the first ones you get, I already ripped mine. I didn't record it, but you'll have a wish list. On your wish list, you're going to want to go in and put whichever legendary characters you have in here, as well as your epics. So getting a soul for Tagoar would be massive if there's any other epics that you have. So I actually just pulled a character called Mordecai. I pulled him after the last video. I got one ancient shard. And I was like, it's still 2x. I'm just going to rip it. I won't regret it because Mordecai is super, super good. But going in, the next, your rares, Kale is going to be a great rare that you can get if you did end up getting any of the other starter characters. So whenever you first start the game, you're choosing between Kale, Aethel, the bow girl, and Gallic. I can't think of her name, Elhine. And then if you get any of those are pretty solid characters. Apothecary can be good. And then some of the campaign characters are not bad either. But going in, depending on what all teams and everything you're trying to make, putting War Maiden on here can be a great choice. But we're about to get Deacon Armstrong, which is going to kind of replace War Maiden for most content. There will be a couple places that you can only use 3 stars or only use barbarians and things like that will still use War Maiden in. But just depends on what you got. That's what I'm trying to say. But for me, I'm putting Apothecary, I'm putting Kale, and I am putting War Maiden. And then you just rip your souls. You have an 8x chance of getting a soul for that character. So if you get one, that's fantastic. Now, with the login free character event, right now it's Luminicity. In the future, it's going to be a million other different characters. Whoever they have, it's usually every 2 months or so they bring out another free character you get. All of you that start now, you're going to have Luminicity, and you're going to get that free character. Once it comes out with Raid, as long as you keep playing and logging in the game, you are going to get so many free things along the way that even if this is the most casual game for you ever, you're going to progress just by opening the game and doing 2 minutes of things per day. So again, this is a long-term adventure that you're going to be on with Raid. And right now we're at the point where it's it's like the first wall, I would say. You get to this spot and then you don't really know what to do. Should I 6-star X character? Should I work on masteries? Should I farm some Dragon Slayers? I'm going to break it down. So we have a kind of a cycle thing. What is it? Flow chart. There we go. There's a flow chart in our Discord that we use. It's in the helpful documents. If you guys want to see it, I'm going to pull it up on screen. It's going to be a little blurry. I don't know where this came from. Whoever made it, credit to you. I don't know who you are because it's been in my Discord for like a year and a half. But we're going to go over that. Now, with the souls, though, you will get up to a 5-star perfect soul for your starting character. I have a 4-soul here now, but the thing is you have to awaken a character to whatever awakening of the soul you have. So with this 4-star soul, I have to awaken her to 4-star before I put it on there. Now, the souls of characters. There are a couple ways to get them. Through the events, you can get some soul stone summons. Next part is going to be Clan Boss Hydra, which we will get there. We're about to level 45, but Hydra is very hard. So Hydra is going to be a long-term commitment style deal. So we're not in any rush to get into Hydra. I mean, we'd like to, but you get some soul stones from that plus free characters. I'm going to make a video going over all like the early or free characters you can get, that kind of the things you're working on in your first like 6 months to a year of playing Raid, what your like early goals should be. Now, the other place that you can get them is going to be within the Iron Twins Fortress. I personally never really push Iron Twins Fortress as a new player. I usually wait like a month or probably 2 months or so before I really start going into that. You just end up making the strongest team you can at the start. Our goal is to get our first team all 6-star and all masteried up from farming Minotaur to have War Master on as many of those as possible, because the real first goal is getting our clan boss team set up. With clan boss, again, the reason we're doing this, we're just going to make a core 5 roster that will beat a bunch of things and will min-max our clan boss team along the way from there. So with clan boss, though, this is where you end up getting your sacred shards. So these sacred shards and void shards and just summons in general, plus your books, this is what's going to really increase the power of your account. Now, with the awakenings, the reason why it's so nice to start at a time you're getting a free character, and even if you start and there's no free character that you're getting right now, just keep playing. You will eventually end up getting one where there will be an event where you get a 5-star soul for them for just doing the bare minimum daily things you need to do. Is going in, you will be able to put different abilities on. So Brimstone is always going to be that first free character that you get, what you put on them, because Brimstone is an HP based damage. It does insane damage. So just with clan boss, it does like 300,000 or more damage every time this procs. So the ability goes higher in terms of chance of landing it. With the more higher level, whatever you have, perfect soul. I keep saying whatever, I'm sorry. But the more perfect soul you have, you can get up to 60% chance. 60% chance is fantastic. 100% would be great, but 6-star souls on characters is insanely hard to get. But outside of that, just from getting these perfect souls for your characters, even if you get a 1 soul for Kale or Tuhanarak or whichever other character you're using, Tagoar if you get one, it's huge. You get these stat bonuses here. 7,500 HP is huge. Attack, 750, 600 defense. These are all massive stat boosts to your characters. So whenever you get the free character with this, it's going to end up being your strongest character. And then from there, if you get even just 1-star, 2-star perfect souls for your characters, it's a massive change. So it's part of getting lucky, getting the events, but souls are very, very good to get. But they're like one of the worst things to buy with money in terms of the shop. Now, from here though, what we're working on what I'm doing for my account, you guys will have different characters. You're gonna have to do some research, ask questions, and do the more time you put into Raid and learn the mechanics of the game, which characters work for how many X different things, because the idea is you build one character that can be used in 7 different locations versus building one character that's only usable in one spot, especially early game. Later game, building that one character for that one spot makes sense, but early on you want to beat as many different things as possible. So what I'm doing for my first 6 stars, I have, if you want to check out my most recent video that was uploaded earlier today, I show more of the progress to talk about my account in terms of the plans and how many 6-star promotional materials and things I've gotten. But I have 6-starred my Kale and I have 6-starred my Luminicity. I 6-starred Luminicity because she will end up being a hard carry for a lot of my content, just because she will have that 5-star perfect soul, which she's going to be stronger in every way than my general characters. Then from here, I'm going to get my Tagoar to 6-star. Once I have my and then I'm going to get Deacon Armstrong. So my core team for almost all content for now, and just the general clearing, getting into Minotaur, getting my first clan boss team to where I can multi-key some of the higher difficulty clan bosses, is just Kale, Luminicity, Tagoar 6-star, Tuhanarak will be probably the 4th 6-star, and then Deacon Armstrong. So these 4 characters are my core roster. Now, if you don't have Luminicity, you've maybe done some summons, you can kind of invest into Elenaril. She has some okay debuffs that work in basically every type of dungeon. It's HP burn and poison. That's one of the characters from promo code. But if you have a different character, you can mix up this team however you want. The idea though is having debuffers. So poisoner is great. That's why Kale is just usually the go-to safe option for new players. If you start with Tholin, that's a secondary damage dealer. So using Luminicity won't have as much. You would end up with Kale, Luminicity, Tholin, Tagoar, plus a support. If you get Deacon from my code, say you use Tholin, still use my download link. If you use somebody else's download link, you can go into War Maiden as an additional option. You just will not have a cleanser, and that's where Tuhanarak is super good for early game. There are some other characters you can end up going for to try to get an additional cleanser. There is one free 3-star that you can farm along the way if you want to go for that. But the core team will be somewhere around what I just explained as what mine will be. So from here, the next thing I want to talk about is going to be what you should be farming. So going in, I have the little spreadsheet checklist thing here. We're going to look at real quick. It's going to be the Raid Shadow Legends getting started. I followed this when I started a year ago. And this is, we've already covered the basic part of the start game, hard, or campaign hard 12-3, we got there. 6-star campaign farmer, we finished that, we got Kale. Next, 800 gem masteries to feed into your campaign farmer, we fed that into Kale. Or if you guys start with somebody else of the 4 starters, maybe you did Gallic, maybe you did Elhine, doesn't really matter, as long as they're farming campaign for you good. Then we got to campaign 12-3 brutal. That's where we're at right now, farming that and doing just the basic missions along the way. Then what this guide says is to make clan boss composition, okay? With the clan boss composition, it's hard to do that as a new player because you're going to have to ask a million questions. What I'm doing is just focusing on that core roster I told you of Kale, Luminisci, Tuhanarak, Tagoar, and then Deacon Armstrong. Then I have Reviver, Cleanser, 2 supports, Defense Break, I have debuffs, and I have Brimstone. Those, and Brimstone comes from the Awakening on Luminisci. That is a great core team. Again, flex however you want, do some research as to which 5 first characters you want to mess with, and try to get set up for. All of them need to be 6-starred, and all of them need to fully farm masteries, and that takes a long time. So from there, though, it has, then you go down, and then you do DragonSlayer, Spider's Den, and Books Minotaur, a mixture of this. The way you decide what you're going to farm is depending on what events are currently in. So the idea is you always want to double dip. Raid is a resource management game. When you spend your resources, you always want to be trying to get double value out of it. With these, there's a fusion event currently going on. Fusion events are very hard for new players unless you're a spender. And if you are a new player and still have a stockpile of Sacred Shards, usually it takes about 4 Sacred Shards to finish a fusion. If you can finish each event, it takes a lot of stamina along the way, though, as well. So if you're ever going to commit to a fusion event, just know, especially the first one, you're probably going to need to spend money to finish it the first time because you won't fully understand. Now, if you maybe tried a fusion event before and know what you're doing going in, they are a lot of the times some of the best characters in the game. Lately it hasn't been that way, but in the past there have been some crazy fusions. So try to keep up to date with the game the best you can. Watch other content creators' videos in terms of fusion events coming, what events are coming. I'll try to be a bit better about talking and releasing news and giving my opinions as to whether you're newer or a semi-new player. I feel like you're a new player in Raid until you've been playing for a year. I still feel like a new player myself, but with all of that, again, the double dipping. Going in, you're going to have your tournaments. So right here, I could farm DragonSlayer. If I want to farm DragonSlayer, I can get all of these rewards for it. So you go in, look at the rewards. Is there anything here I really need? If there isn't, then maybe skip out on this and maybe farm masteries. If there's something in here that you need, by mastery I mean farm Minotaur, but if there's something in here that you need, then farm a little bit of it, see if you get any decent gear along the way. I know gear is still probably relatively confusing for you, but I will be showing the progress and the type of gear that I'm keeping on my characters going into the next videos, but this is just trying to get you to know what to do next. So from here though, if you maybe have the events, we have a champion training event. So what I did on my account was, if you go to my last video, in my champion vault, I have a bunch of 4-star characters. With these 4 stars, I'm going to be promoting them to 5 stars and taking these 5 stars to make them into 6, or my main core team into 6 stars. With doing that, I'm going to be, if I saved all of them for when a champion training event came open. So now that this is open, I've been slamming all of them into here, and I'm getting all the rewards for this. So I'm double dipping, versus if I would have 6-starred a character 2 days ago, I wouldn't be able to fully clear this. I would only be able to get the basic start of the rewards. So saving your things like that, like with the characters in your champion vault, as well as saving your silver. One of the big things is saving your silver for gear enhancement events. When you upgrade gear, I know you have a piece of gear you want to take to plus 16. You can upgrade your gear to plus 12 outside of these events, but if you're ever going to take a piece of gear to plus 16, I highly suggest trying to wait for a gear enhancement event. They happen like at least once a week. So plan your resources, save them up the best you can. Now with books, depending on the characters that you have and have gotten along the way, maybe your summons that went good, like I have Mordecai, I'm going to want to book him think I want to book him. But Tagoar, for example, Tagoar is a great book option. That's where you'll put some of your epic books. Your legendary books, you'll have to decide what's the best legendary on your account that needs books. So I would not put books into Tuhanarak early on. I don't think it's going to help as much. It might actually hurt because her skill 1, I want her using more skill 1s versus her other skills. And the biggest thing with her is just turn rotation. But books for a damage dealer, legendary could be great. I may end up looking into putting them on Luminicity to get the cooldowns. Don't think I need it. She's mainly just a brimstone character, but if you do not know what to do with your books, just don't use them. But Tagoar is a great first option. You want to get the cooldowns on his skill 2 and cooldown on skill 3. I got insanely lucky and none of my boosts run in skill 1. It is RNG when you put the books in, which skill they go to. But you have to figure out how many books does my character need. Usually it's going to be the skill cooldowns on any support character. And then from there, damage dealers, you want all the books. You want the damage plus the skill cooldown to cycle back into your big hitting skills faster. And with using books, the idea is you want to use your books only during a tournament. And the champion training tournaments, when you use books, you gain points for. In an event for champion training, you do not get points for books. This is just leveling up your characters and upgrading ranks. So it's going to take a while. Over time, you will get into a routine of when you should use your resources, how to get the most out of them. But that is a short little example of saving your resources for the right time to use them. Now, once you have followed along that little guide to what you're working on, again, it's going to be mostly just 6-starring your first characters and then boosting your masteries. Once you get your masteries done and have Warlord or War Master on all your characters, maybe one won't have it depending on what core team you're using. I think for my 5, I'm going to have it on all of them. You're going to have a solid clan boss team. Those 6, you will be able to go in and hit. I'm not sure up to what difficulty. I'll know in about a week how much we're able to do with the core team. But just the 6-star survivability plus War Master on all your characters, you're going to have a decent clan boss team to where you'll start getting some of those summons back. Now, if you do not have a way to double dip, if you can't do Spider or Dragon or whichever tournament's going on, then it's usually farming Minotaur, because that is the biggest stamina sink. You do have the option to either buy masteries for your characters or farming Minotaur. With buying masteries for characters, it's 800 gems per character, and the difference of that is if you were to farm it instead, it has to be Minotaur 15. If you're not farming Minotaur 15, it's always worth using your gems before or instead of farming it. Now, if you're farming it though, I think it's average 640 gems of stamina refreshing to max your masteries. So you save 160 gems per character, which isn't that much really. So if you want to just buy masteries and maybe you're a spender who buys the gem packs, it's a great way to get progression on your account without having to sit in Minotaur for forever. So always know that that is an option, and it's not that inefficient to do. For a lot of people, time outside of the game is valuable enough that you're willing to spend money in the game, so you have more time outside of the game to do your regular life. Okay, so that is the Minotaur farming, again, with your masteries. If you ever have a question of how to put masteries on X character, go to the Hell Hades website in the description. This is my Kale, and as you see, the highest one is going to be War Master. This bottom mastery here, so I'll have to click here. So War Master. War Master is doing that base HP damage, which for against Clan Boss and Hydra and Chimera and Dragon Slayer, it works everywhere. Anything with a high HP value, this is the play. This is not the PvP play. If you're trying to build a character specifically for Arena, you would not go for this one. This is a pure PvE team usable thing. Okay, there are other options, but we're not super focused on PvP early game. There's really no point to be. You can pretty much use your core PvE team. Once you get Deacon Armstrong, he will be your pretty much core. For you also, if you do not have Deacon from using my profile or promo code, you will be getting High Katoon. So the reason High Katoon is very good to get is because of the speed lead. Speed aura is so important for Arena for early on, because you will not have the proper speed tuning. You will not have characters that push up your characters. You want to go before your opponent and try to beat them as fast as possible. And this is what allows you to do it. Deacon Armstrong has the same thing, plus he has a defense break, but High Katoon can be fantastic if you didn't use my promo link. So she will be one of the core characters for your PvP team, and then using War Maiden. So you want your High Katoon or whoever to be the fastest, and then you want your War Maiden to go after. I'm going to use Deacon, so I'm going to switch him out for War Maiden, but the idea is your War Maiden goes first, and you want your Nuker to go second. If you can get an attack buff in there, you would want your War Maiden to go first, then your attack buff, and then your nuker. Whether it's Kale, Gallic, whoever you started with, your starter's usually one of the best options for your nuker in Arena. But there are other characters that you may have pulled. You want to get an AoE attack, preferably, for that. So, once all of that's done, you're hopefully getting close to account rank 45. Some of you may already be there. And you're working on getting your 6 stars. We're going to go back to the picture real quick. It's going to have targets for getting into different difficulties of Clan Boss. We're just going to end up achieving those through passively farming, getting our character 6 star, and getting all their masteries done. All of these will end up kind of getting done. We will not be able to do the highest difficulty, but we can probably, with just our core 6 star team, if you're using the same as me, you'll be able to do Nightmare. You'll probably have to 2-key it, but that's a fantastic start because Clan Boss, getting it done each day is huge. But there are going to be some stat thresholds that you want to hit within this picture, as well as it tells you where you spend your gems. We've talked about that in other videos. You have your 800 gems for Campaign Farmer, 1500 gems for Gem Mine, and then 1200 gems for the Sparring Pit, and then you have 800 gems subsequent masteries until you can kill Minotaur 15. So again, if you're not farming Minotaur 15, you would rather put your gems into buying the masteries out like we did with Kale earlier in the guide. Okay, so from here, going down, if you do not have a character needed to beat X content. So one example is Spider's Den. Spider's Den can be very hard. If we want to get to a higher level of Spider's Den, we're going to do our summons. I just got Mordecai, so I'm going to be able to start working on a Spider's Den team. Now, if you are farming DragonSlayer and you do some summons, you get a character that's really good for DragonSlayer. Or you can look at the ratings in the game or go to Hell Hades to see the characters that you pull and see what they'd be good for. But the game is going to, at a certain point, kind of dictate what you are working toward next based off who you end up summoning. You can kind of go out of your way to start pushing different content that you really want to push, but you kind of just let the game decide what's going to be the next thing that you go for. And hopefully that part makes sense. But the reason it's going to be the summoning is because you're going to end up doing your clan boss, and once you get to Nightmare and maybe start hitting Ultra Nightmare, you get 4 keys per day. Ideally, just look into trying to keep up with using 3 per day. When you first log in, you'll be able to use 2 of them. Then in the afternoon, if you log back in, you can use 1 more on another difficulty. But once you start beating multiple difficulties with those keys, maybe you have to 2-key Nightmare and then 1 key the one before it, you will start getting some summons. Mostly will be Ancient Shards at first. You'll occasionally get that Sacred Shard from Nightmare. You get, I don't know, what is it, 3 a month, and then from Ultra Nightmare, I feel like you get like 4 or 5. You end up getting a lot of ancient or sacred shards from Clan Boss per month. But you will get the summons. It's going to be a long grind. But the thing is, this part of the game is where your account starts actually forming, and you start beating stuff that, because if you go in and try to beat something right now and just get obliterated by it, and then go back in 2 weeks once you get a little bit stronger and you beat it, this is what got me hooked on Raid, was just those tiny little goals and accomplishing them, because it's very hard to find that, especially in a gacha mobile style game, to where things aren't just so easy that it doesn't feel rewarding to beat it. So now that all that is done, we talked about our Altar of Souls. Another thing you opened up is going to be Doom Tower. Doom Tower is hard. It's hard to make a guide on it because it changes as a rotation, and each of the bosses is different. So each 10th floor is a boss. You just go in, do what you can. If you want to research that specific boss and see what you could need to beat it, you can ask in Discord, or you can just look up other YouTube videos. But I can't really make a specific version for this, because if you're watching this guide a month from now, you're going to have different bosses. So going in, this is going to be difficult, though. You are going to need to keep boosting up your characters, keep making more 6 stars, and eventually you'll go in. Just try it each day. There's nothing you're going to lose out on for trying it. We will go deeper into this in a future episode of the guide, because there are silver keys. Using your silver keys, you are able to unlock characters from just using. There's a bunch of epic characters, and up to some really solid characters from the hard mode version. It's just so you know, there is a hard mode of this. So good characters to unlock, something to kind of dabble in while you're trying to progress your account. The further you get into it, the better. If you can get to the part where you clear stage 10, you can use your silver keys to farm that each day to get crafting materials to craft gear. And crafting that gear on easy, you're mostly just going to sell it, but that allows you to get more silver, because silver, once you start upgrading your gear a bit more, you are going to be out of it. I've been stockpiling because I haven't had any kind of event I'm trying to upgrade my gear for yet, but you will run out very, very quickly. So from here, one last thing that you can slightly dabble in if you want. Otherwise, it's still just focus on your core team 6-starring. And talking about this too early always scares me, but it is starting to get some faction war characters built up. Whenever you go into faction wars, just know you do not have 5 characters. It's very hard to really commit to faction wars and get much done with it, but going in and making at least a team that can beat to the first boss of this for each different type is going to give you a ton of crafting materials, just like Doom Tower would, for perception gear. Perception gear is probably the most game-changing early game gear that's attainable outside of farming like Dragon Slayer and other content. But going in for faction wars, the idea is try not to promote the characters for this if they're just general whatever characters. So you can go in, and as you see here, I did get a couple of epics for the whatever this is. What is it, Lizardmen? I did get some Lizardmen. So I can go level them up along the way. I'm not going to promote them. If you have some extra awakening materials, you can ascend them and just put some basic gear on that at +8 or +12. And then just be able to go in and do whichever the highest difficulty you can is of each one. This is, again, an extra step thing if you want to slightly start working on it. I have done a little bit. I did go in and kind of put a little bit into my Sylvan Watcher team yesterday because I had Luminacy. But don't want to put too much in, because like this one, I could do this one today. I'll boost her up a little bit, throw a little bit of gear on, and then just try to get to the highest level that you can. If you end up dying, you do not lose any keys. Just go back, set it to auto farm, and just get that lower end level perception stuff or materials, because you can, if anything, craft low tier gear and sell it. And then once you start getting the 5 and 6-star gear from this, that is gear that can be usable for the rest of the life on your account. Now, as you're going through, you're also going to get stars, which are going to give you some rewards. You can get some summons for this, and eventually you're getting Lydia, who's a super strong character. I will go into her, and I'll go into a couple of the other characters that you get for free that will be kind of targets for your first 6 months to a year of playing Raid, and how they're going to affect your account. So those are all some stuff you can work on. There's a little flowchart. Again, you can pause the video there. It's a little blurry. If you go into my Discord and click on the helpful documents tab, go all the way up to the top. It's the top one. I'll actually pin it so you can check pins. I'll do that right after this video. And you can just kind of get the idea. It's just a little flowchart. You go in and then you try to get to clan boss. Once you can do a little bit of clan boss, you go over summon and then try to get to higher levels of Dragon Slayer and then Spider's Den. And past that, trying to farm any of the other content. It's not going to be an early thing, so I know you're going to do some research. You're going to see that Fire Knight's Castle drops some super good gear. You want some Savage gear, and gear from this. The crit damage gear would be nice. You want some stun sets for your faction wars. Try to hold off on going too hard on Fire Knight until you have a roster of characters that will actually beat it. Okay, you want multi-hitting characters, so the first goal is usually always Dragon Slayer, and especially Spider's Den. Getting just teams for these two, you will make enough progression to where once you go and tackle some of this other content, it will be much easier to beat. So that's all I have for this video. Sorry, it's a one take. It's a little sloppy, but I wanted to get this out so you guys have at least something to follow, because you guys are probably about where I'm at, where you're maybe not knowing what to focus on next. Just a simple, quick overview of what I talked about. Work on 6-starring your first 5 characters. Get War Master on all of them. That means fully awaken them and fully farm masteries for them. If you have some extra gems, those gems could be put in the gem mine or the sparring pit. And then from there, that's going to be your core team. Then you'll start farming clan boss, getting some summons. It's going to be a long process, but you will make progress each day that you log in and just burn your stamina. It's not a race. Some of you, if you want to make it a race, you need to spend money, basically. But if you're just along for the ride, keep logging in. You're going to get some free characters that are going to make things even easier. As once your raid account, if you log in every day for half a year, you're going to have so many free things. And then try to time out your fusion events, because if you do a couple fusions, you're going to have some of those extra other really good legendaries on top of the free characters that they give, and you're going to be in a good spot. So I will have a video going over mostly just updates of my free-to-play account. I'm going to show my teams, what I'm farming, what I'm doing, but I will make another updated video once I'm at the point of having my core team 6-starred and showing my process of making my true clan boss team, as well as my true Dragon Slayer team, Spider's Den team, trying to give you other alternatives that you can use yourself, and trying to give you some extra resources that you can go to of things that could work, especially for clan boss, because that is #1 priority. But thank you guys for watching. Thanks for following along thus far. If you have, let me know if you have any extra questions in the comments, and I will answer them, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.